what is the latest development in Pakistan?
Can you compare the difference between an aperture G45?
Secularism is dying.
The recommendation for the Indian Education Service.
Can human interaction be substituted by artificial intelligence?
You're speaking from which city, please?
I am from Udaipur, Rajasthan.
Very lovely city you are from. Great. Kindly tell us something about yourself.
As you know, I am Chirag Mehta. I belong to Udaipur, Rajasthan. I have completed my graduation in BTech Civil Engineering from Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. I am a very hardworking and passionate person who is very curious to join civil services.
Okay. Can you tell us a few things about the culture of Rajasthan, please?
Yes, sir. So Rajasthan is very much famous for its vibrant and dynamic culture. The first point is the traditional costume attire. I want to talk about attire, which is very vibrant and colorful. And second is about the ornaments, which are worn by man and women both. Thirdly is the festivals. Fourthly is the unique landscape of Rajasthan, with the desert, which is further related to some festivals. And fourth thing is the history of the Rajasthan, which is full of valor and royal thing. And fourthly and lastly is about the various cities in Rajasthan which are famous for the unique aspects. One is big city, another we have Jaipur, is pink city, like varied landscapes.
I believe there's a train which goes to Pakistan from Rajasthan. Can you tell me about that train?
So I have read about it. It is from I'm not able to recall it properly. If you allow me, can I guess?
Well, here you can guess. There you please don't guess there. Yeah, here you can. Yes.
It is from Munabao to.
It is, yeah. It is in Jodhpur. Starts from Bhagat Ki Kothi, and then via Munabao it goes to Sindh in Pakistan. Is it operational these days? Any idea?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about.
The last 2 years, it has been closed after we had, the last problem with Pakistan. Okay, can you tell me what is the latest development in Pakistan, since we are talking of that?
So currently, the current political crisis has melted into the removal of the Prime Minister Imran Khan, and the Supreme Court has nullified the decision of the Deputy Speaker and President. So there's a change.
Who's the new Prime Minister?
Shahbaz Nawaz Khan.
Shahbaz
Khan.
Shahbaz Khan. Okay, and is he related to any politician there?
Yes, sir. Sir, he is related to. He is the brother of the earlier Prime Minister of the Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif.
And which party does he belong to?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the name. Pakistan People's Party.
Okay, tell me now. Okay, so how do you see now the Indo-Pakistan relations after the coming of this gentleman? What is your assessment of the likely relationship now with Pakistan?
Sir, actually, during the Imran Khan time, he was not having very cordial relation with India. He was having some resistance and friction between the India-Pakistan relations. However, recently the Army Chief Bajwa said that we actually want to have a good relationship with India, good economic and ties. So the relation on India or China would be a very mixed sort of thing, and we cannot clearly demarcate also. It depends on the next regime. But I believe that first of all, if I talk about positive impact, it may enhance trade ties between India because the new regime may want to develop good trade. But however, the Kashmir issue will remain there. So the negotiations may start on Kashmir issue also. That is the main point of contention is between India and Pakistan. Secondly, army may divert the attention of the common people of Pakistan to wage some small conflict in the border area, because the actual problem is economic problem is also there. So it may actually divert the minds of the people from the real problems which is challenge which Pakistan is facing, to arouse the sentiments of the people of Pakistan. It can use such tactics. That's all.
Do you see any other green shoots?
Sorry, sir, pardon.
Do you see any other green shoots? You understand what I'm asking?
Yes, green shoots.
Yes. Any other signals which are favorable towards a better relationship between India and Pakistan? So it doesn't matter. I mean, if you cannot talk about. Okay, tell us about Sri Lanka. What is latest in Sri Lanka?
Yes, sir. So like Pakistan, Sri Lanka is also going through a turbulent phase, uh, uh, described by its politico-economic crisis. There also the president has put emergency. People are protesting. Economic crisis.
But what is the crisis? What is the crisis in Sri Lanka?
So the crisis is a mix of various reasons, because currently the Sri Lankan economy is very poor condition. So inflation is there. That is number one.
So why is it economy? Why is economy in poor condition? That's the basic question.
Yes. So economy is interconnected to polity also, and the Sri Lankan economy is characterized by Rajpaksa brothers. They are mostly managing the cabinet. So the fiscal and the poor mismanagement by the Rajpaksa brothers, the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajpaksa, Gotabaya Rajpaksa, they are before the election, they announced very populist policies. They have cut down the taxes. So this has led to the poor fiscal management on the part of state. So it is another reason.
Okay, let us come home. Left-wing extremism has been in India for the last now 7 decades, roughly. Why have we been unable to sort it out? Are we such an incompetent country?
The left-wing extremism is the greatest internal security threat, has been described by our earlier Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji. So I would say that we are working very hard to reduce the problem of left-wing extremism, and recently it has reduced a lot. But the major problem is, first issue is of government or the official or administration is not able to create that bridge between the local people. So the guerrilla tactics by the local people.
That is what I'm saying. So we have been unable to do it. We are incompetent. So you agree with me?
We are not. No, sir. We are not incompetent. We are trying. Challenges are there, but we are still trying to solve them out with the help of recently Samadhan plan was announced recent 4 or 5 years back. We are working on infrastructure issues, building Kendriya Vidyalayas, building roads, ensuring good governance, aspirational district program. So all these things are slightly giving a hope. A lantern of hope is there, and I firmly believe the situation will definitely improve in coming days.
Okay, my last question is: you said about aspirational districts. How many aspirational districts are there?
115.
And in Rajasthan, how many are they?
5.
115 and 5 in Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Mr. Sriranjan, kindly take over, please.
Right. So, Chirag, are you aware that this aspirational district evaluation has been done? So what are the final, say, highlights of that evaluation report?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about the evaluation report.
Okay, so can you tell what are the criteria on which aspirational districts are made?
Basically, we aim to choose those districts which are backward, like poor health facilities are there. They are not properly connected. Poor education status are there. Medical or health indicators are poor. So all these are taken together into account to choose aspirational districts.
Recently, this NFHS report has come, National Family Health Survey, right?
Yes.
Can you compare on some of the key indicators, the difference between NFHS 4, 5, or 3 to 3, 4, 5? Any idea where we have progressed very well, where we are faltering and we are having serious problems?
Yes, I have a rough idea. So firstly, this NFHS 5 survey revealed that the sex ratio is improving. It has like 1020 nearly for females versus 1000 for male. That is a very good indicator. Number two is we have also witnessed a marked improvement in stunting underweight. It is nearly about 30 to 33%. Earlier, it was about 35%. So there also we have witnessed improvement in child mortality rates, under 5 nutrition, undernourishment, all these things. It is a positive improvement.
So if we are improving satisfactorily, then why there is a lot of concern about undernutrition in the country?
Yeah, sir, definitely we are improving a lot, but the changes are not sudden. We are gradually moving towards a very inclusive healthcare for all, and obviously we will achieve in the later time, but it will take time.
So what are the steps which have been taken to take care of undernutrition issue in the country? Some of the important steps which have been initiated.
So like we already have midday meal scheme in schools to take care around the nutrition needs of the students. We have also developed Anganwadi worker, which take into account the nutritional needs of lactating women and the or adolescent girls. We have Poshan Abhiyan by the Honorable Prime Minister, so which take into account the overall development of the child, of the pregnant mother.
Something has been announced for tackling hidden hunger. What is hidden hunger, and what steps have been taken recently?
The hidden hunger is a lack of micronutrients.
Macronutrients. So what are the key programs?
So one is government has recently announced the fortification of rice through PDS system.
Right, and this will be fortified with what?
Sir, zinc, vitamin B12, iron, folic acid. So they will mix the rice in the rice pellets. They will be mixed and will be served to the people through PDS system or in schools.
Okay. And so this is one. Apart from that, any other fortification we have done?
Yes, sir. For example, if I talk about Rajasthan, through primary healthcare centers and ASHA workers, government distributes like folic acid tablets.
Okay. Apart from that, salt, fortified salt, iodized salt, iodized salt.
Yes,
okay.
Iodized salt. Yes. Sir.
Okay. Now you are a civil engineer, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So have you heard of Amrut program?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the important components, and what is the role of civil engineer in that program?
Sir, Amrut is the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transportation. So it is a very holistic program which aims to take into account developing the green urban areas, proper waste management proper parking spaces. So in these aspects, there comes the role of civil engineer. So as a civil engineer, I can contribute a lot such missions. For example, number one thing is we are talking about water treatment. So we can put more focus on using recycled wastewater treatment plant, which can also address the water scarcity issue in our country. Number two is we can promote the concept of green urban areas, which will reduce the concept of urban heat island effect. And thirdly, we are also talking about creating friendly parking spaces, which often congest our Indian cities. So I can work on these three aspects.
Now tell me this greenhouse, okay, green buildings particularly. So what should be changed so that we reduce the carbon footprint in that? Can you tell us some of the important change you would like to design a house or a building?
Yes, sir. So actually we are going for green, or I should say sustainable buildings, which will definitely reduce the carbon footprint in the following ways. Number one thing is using modern technologies. For example, if we start using vertical plantation or recently photovoltaic glaze kind of mirrors, which during daytime will absorb the sunlight and which can be further converted into electricity for the cooling purpose of the building. That is the one thing. Number two thing is we can increase the use of pervious concrete so that we can reduce the impermeable areas. We are using porous concrete blocks, which will allow water to infiltrate into the ground. So water table recharge will be there. So it will keep the microclimate cool also. That is a very important thing. Thirdly, we can use environment friendly and recycled materials while designing the building. For example, use of geotextile, geofiber.
But don't you think all these technologically driven interventions are very, very costly interventions? and making building becomes very, very costly and prohibitive.
No doubt these are very costly, but currently we are further improvising on the technologies. For example, earlier the concept of photovoltaic glaze is very expensive. So in India, we are finding the local solution. For example, we are promoting the use of local
It
materials.
hasn't happened in solar panels also. These were very prohibitively high. Even after a decade, we are stuck with some of the issues in solar panel. Same thing about building material. I have not seen any material, steel or any material which is in use. The prices have come down in building, in construction, right? So that hope of telling we are going to have very good things. So back to basics. Should we have mud blocks? Should we have our own homegrown timbers, bamboo?
But the bamboos and mud blocks are good, but they are not very good as far as structural strength is concerned.
How
Structural
do you know
strength.
that? I mean, it has been proven that they are structurally very sound.
No, actually, and college lab also we have performed experiments on this making these blocks. So mud is very good as far as insulation is concerned, cooling effect is concerned, cost effectiveness is concerned.
Okay, tell me about Beamstick. Last question from my side.
So recently the Beamstick Charter was finalized, which is a very positive step. Beamstick Charter.
What is Beamstick first?
Bay of Bengal, a multi-sectoral initiative for uh, science and cooperation. I'm not able to recall the last two terms.
Okay, right. Okay. Commodore, Mr. Jaitley.
So Chirag, it was wonderful listening to you, your discourse, and I find that you're pretty good. And I just realized that you're from Rajasthan, and we realized that Rajasthan was in news for quite some time for this Karoli incident. Will you
Yes,
illuminate
sir.
us as to what happened? Because we've been getting only news from the newspaper and other places. We've been on the ground. Just give us an insight into it.
Yes, sir. Because it was on Ram Navami, during the time of Ram Navami, a procession was carried out, and people of a particular community threw stones and caused destruction. So that led to the rise of the communal tensions between the residents of that area in Karoli. So hence it was in news. So I think such issue is very unfortunate. It should not happen. But should I tell you, sir, the measures to counter it or
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me. You're the boss.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So first of all, to prevent such issues, first initiative should be proper policing, like proper peace committees. The district administration should be well aware that these are the hotspots. This is the occasion. So instant vigil, preventive measures first. These areas should be kept under vigil. Secondly, if such incident happen, then first of all, dialogue should be the option. Talking between the leaders of the particular group. Second, dialogue. And thirdly, if the dialogue does not materialize, the third option is using like tear gas and small lathi charge and all these things. And if situation went out of control and section 114 is imposed, as it was imposed, so that is a final call to restore the peace in the society.
So I understand what you say. We must have these areas under vigil. Do we understand that secularism is dying? That we have to keep our communities under check? We have to have police keeping an eye on the areas? Or is there something else happening?
So I won't say Indian secularism is dying. Rather, Indian secularism is a very unique concept. It is not dying per se, but I think these are the various elements of society which actually want to tarnish the social fabric of the society by such small communal incidents. So this is not about just about communalism. It is about the people's views, their own skirmishes, their own their feelings which are emanating from the communalistic tendencies. These are the things. I won't tarnish the Indian communalism as such. It is very good indeed.
Okay, I think you make some good valid points. And I understand that you were just telling Sri Lanka has gone down the drain because of poor taxation. And I realize that in many places in Punjab and in Delhi, we've been into this freebie culture where electricity free, pani free, rides free, paisa ghar mein. How do you think? What is your view on freebie culture?
So, firstly, as recently highlighted by the Honorable Supreme Court, freebies, political parties are allowed to give freebies, but it is on the people. Actually, it is on the minds of the people to decide that whether these freebies will, in long term, will hamper their fiscal capacity. So it is upon the people. And secondly, political parties should not announce freebies only to attract the voters and just deceiving or cheating them in the later time. That is second thing. Thirdly, Indian electorate is getting enough wisdom and literacy now gradually. So people are now able to understand that what freebie will mean in long term. They may have good poor impact. So it is about the awareness of the people side. I think more focus should be on supply side, not from demand. People should be made aware. People should be informed about the freebies so that they themselves can take decision on the basis of the facts and figures of the political party.
So you use the word deceiving and cheating.
Yes, sir.
If the political party is deceiving and cheating, who is going to educate them? Who's going to educate the masses?
Yes. So Election Commission of India is working effortlessly using Facebook campaigns, various Facebook campaigns, to enhance the electoral awareness in the society. That is the one thing. Secondly, in the colleges also, we are now opening the voter registration list camps also to aware the people about the concept of voting. So these measures are very important to enhance the electoral awareness among the people of any country.
Okay, so you really gave some good points. And I realized that with this huge amount of issue which is taking place between Russia and Ukraine, and we find the world order is coming to there's a little change in the world order. How do you look at BRICS in this backdrop?
Yes, the current Russia-Ukraine crisis has caused a lot of turbulence in the geoeconomics and geopolitics of the region, or per se for the whole entire world. It has actually toppled the whole world order. So BRICS will be, because since Russia is a member of BRICS, India, China are also members. So India has to walk a very tight rope to balance between Russia, America, China, all these things. So as far as particularly BRICS is concerned, uh, in future course, the concept of BRICS may further reinforce if China, India, and Russia they work together. Because currently India is not walking out of Russia's orbit. It is not blindly following America's decision. It is neither following Russia's decision. So in a way, it is like a quid pro quo thing. One thing is that. So it is not upsetting Russia to big extent. Although Russia is upset after UNHRC meetings, that is one thing. Second thing is about that. Uh, China is a common enemy of India also and US also. And currently US is busy in this Russia-Ukraine thing. So this may lead to aggressive rise of hegemony of China also. So rise of China hegemony in BRICS may in long term cause an debilitating impact upon the Indo-China relations or India's image in the Asia Pacific. So it has both short-term, long-term positive, negative impact.
So like what Vora sir asked today, that we have problems in China, in Pakistan, we have a regime change in Pakistan. In Sri Lanka, we are seeing a little problem. Something is happening in Nepal. So how do you look at this Mandal theory, which has been projected by Kotalaya in our relations with China?
So yes, sir. Mandal theory talks about dost ka dost, dushman ka dost, like that concept. So for example, in the case of China, they have Pakistan. So Pakistan's friend and Afghanistan. So no doubt, Mandal theory is holding good relevance here. But the Kautilya's time is much more different from current context. In present contemporary world, the relations have become much more complicated, much more sophisticated. So this Mandal theory may not be true in the absolute sense, because sometimes we have good relations, some friction come up, then again situation worsen. So I think Mandal theory to small extent true, but there is something different issues also there.
Okay, good. So you gave me some good answers. And the last question for you. You would have heard of this guy known as Edward Snowden?
Yes, sir.
If I talk of Edward Snowden, tell me 3 qualities that you would like to imbibe from him.
Number one is honesty. Number one is empathetic for wider people, large people, for the cause of common public. And number 3 is compassion, because
Okay.
the American
Very beautifully explained. The 3 important qualities which a service officer should have. But the US is running after Edward Snowden. They want to put him in jail and they want to prosecute him. So tell me about the Whistleblower Act.
Yes, sir. So the Whistleblower Act actually aims to protect the whistleblowers from the threat of the people who are actually complaining about them. But unfortunately, India, that particular act is not implemented letter and spirit because people are often threatened. Their anonymous complaints are not allowed. That is one thing. Secondly, if someone find anonymous complaint, they are often harassed by the officials. So we do not still have a proper or robust
Okay,
whistleblower.
thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed interacting with you. Uh, Chirag, you were very good. Please, Nitin, take over.
Okay, Chirag, that was good. What are your hobbies? You can enlighten me more about the hobbies of yours that you have mentioned.
Yes, sir. So number one is interacting, teaching school students, and number two is interacting with elderly people.
Okay, so teaching a school student is something which is belonging to you very naturally. Uh, if you are a civil servant, right? You're selected, and then after the probation, you are having some posting. You are having the state, a particular state maybe. So what use of this hobby you can have in your future as a bureaucrat?
So these two hobbies can be pursued very effectively because I have seen some IAS officers. They are also teaching.
Teaching and no teaching school students only, but in particular.
Yes, so for example, after this, we can take out a little time, like 30 minutes or 45 minutes, for a particular. We can identify any particular government school in the nearby area where I am living. So that particular area may be earmarked, and I can go to that particular office for interacting with the students, teaching them academically or non-academic things for 35 minutes, weekends or alternate days, as the time permits.
Okay, so what are the problems that you are facing, seeing in the news or otherwise in the school level education that we have from the teacher side? Do we have the appropriate teaching standard at the school level, or little more can be done? If so, how?
Yes, sir. Current Indian education system is embroiled with a lot of problems, ranging from teachers' absenteeism, poor children to teacher ratio, lack of basic infrastructure, digital infrastructure. So things are lacking. But we are working very hard to improve to ameliorate the condition. For that, first of all, we need to motivate, incentivize the people in the rural areas to actually send their daughters and children in the school. That is the number one thing. First, we need to ensure the attendance because sometimes teachers also find it very difficult. Second thing is we should promote better innovative techniques to teach students, like in indigenous language, local language, as highlighted by our national education
Yes,
policy.
but Chirag, if the teacher's fundamentals are not good, that teacher is not knowing about that what this teaching is all about, how he can impart the teaching. So I am asking about the B.Ed, M.Ed program and also the teaching training and probation. So what all can be done? Any new thing that you can see that it can also be done in addition to whatever it's being done?
So currently we have a Diksha platform to impart training to teachers in a very holistic way. My father is also a teacher and he also undergoing training. In that particular, it is done using mobile apps. So particular courses are there. They train the teachers. That is one very good thing. Secondly, the current B.Ed program, like they are mostly 2-year programs. So that B.Ed program should be made much more inclusive. For example, B.Ed program lay very less emphasis on the child psychology, child understanding. They more focus on mathematical, science-led aspect. So we need to take into account the cognitive as well as emotive component of the teaching. So the teacher can be well aware of the children's skills. So teachers should be much emotionally intelligent. That is very important thing. And thirdly, as far as innovation is concerned, I firmly believe that the students who are who belong to any B.Ed college or M.Ed college, their internship period should be enhanced. Internship should not be only restricted to 1 month or 2 months for getting grades or for its course. This should be enhanced so that the future teachers get a very good exposure right at the very little age. That is very important. So the training period should be enhanced. That is it.
Yeah, but out of the box ideas like the recommendation for the Indian Education Service at the upper level side, also the conduction of the assistant professor recruitment by UPSC as it is done, means if I am going away from the school level, and also if the mark sheet of the main examination of UPSC candidate, it is to be included as it has been done. The verification part of it can be done by the private company if it is real or not. It can further be enhanced that way, that because you are a knowledge repository and also the interview facing candidate. So not only B.Ed, M.Ed program, but this preparation also. So these are the things that you can say as part of the natural input.
So one thing can I speak?
Yeah.
Like first of all, we should change the teaching examination. Currently, the teaching examination in various states, they focus much more on rote learning. You know the history, you know the facts. So the teaching examination should be much more concept oriented, so that better teachers come to the system. That is very important thing also.
Yes. So that bring me to a body called as NTA.
Yes, sir.
What is your take on for NTA?
So National Testing Agency is actually coordinating various examinations ranging from UGC NAT to JEE Mains and all these examinations. So this body is very good because earlier CBSE was very much overburdened. So in this way, this NTA has been a single agency to monitor all the examinations. But I still feel that making one umbrella body is not the solution. What is important is to ensure very good and robust coordination among various states and districts. For example, NTA is not able, because recently NTA was not able to release the JEE results on time. There are issues on language translation in question papers. There is an issue. There is discrepancy regarding syllabus. People of some states say this is hard for us, some say this is easy for us. So there is issues still there. So these things need to be corrected a lot. And lastly, we need to incentivize youth to become part of the NTA. So we should start hiring good professional youth for the NTA, so that their R&D R&D department can be made much more stronger. That is very important.
That is quite academic, Chirag, in nature, your reply. But the kind of natural frame, why the NTA came into, why it is so now today we require for an NTA body as a body, and what made government to bring NTA, right? Some of the big precedents apart from the smaller one, and where the future lies, the observation of the court also, and your natural input about it. Because some of the bodies, committees, commissions are recommending, but their recommendations are buried under the dust. So that also you can mention. But for NTA, it could be little more natural from your answers. Okay. So for elderly people, that interaction hobby that you have, can you give an example that with whom you interacted, one of the elder in recent past? Yeah.
Actually, my grandfather and my grandmother lives with me. So during like evening, they usually sit around the veranda of my house, and near people from nearby area who are actually 60 plus, they join them. They start discussing and gossiping. And most of the time, I am there during this time. I'm not studying. So they themselves start the discussion, and mostly I'm the listener. So in this way, this interaction goes on.
So, like, what do you do out of this hearing from the talk of the elder people?
Sir, by conversating with elderly people, learn a lot. For example, first thing is about the daily habits. Like earlier, I used to have very poor sleeping habits. So I came to know about the importance of good sleep cycle. That is very important in current time where mental stress is a big problem. Secondly, is food habits. Earlier, I used to consume the refined food items. They say, so they talk actually about the importance of their old food, which was very much healthy. The second thing. Thirdly, they highlight the importance of festivals. Fourthly, they during Corona times or COVID times, they actually shared their views on education system when their grandchildren were busy on the laptops and mobiles.
Chirag, cutting it short, like your interview is in the offing. What advice they have given, like, or naturally you came across some of the input from them?
They asked me to be confident. They just advised me to remain confident. If you're honest and confident, just speak your heart out. If you're honest and confident, you will definitely sail through it. That's the advice.
Okay, that's good. So, ma'am, you can ask.
Good evening, Chirag. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. Good evening.
Okay. Now, since your hobbies, I think Sir has very well discussed about your hobbies, but I would like to ask you other questions related to them. You have mentioned that you like teaching students, school students. In that regard, can you tell me, see, because of the pandemic, gradually the students, they are more on mobiles and laptops, right? So can you please tell me few pros and cons of having online classes?
Yes, ma'am. Online classes is like a double-edged sword with its own merits and demerits. First of all, I will talk about merits. Number one thing, uh, during Corona times when the schools were shut down, it was possible for the students to learn from their mobile or laptop. It didn't hamper the study in a much bigger way. That is number one thing. So the education was still accessible. Number two, with the proliferation of mobile technologies, the internet is available. So with Geo and all these things, so affordability was also there. Thirdly, with the help of online platform, there was a flexibility on the part of the parents and teachers to learn various courses. Fourthly, students and teachers got to know about innovative techniques on YouTube, to how to teach students using models, 3D animations, and all these things. So that is very important, a positive role. If I talk about negative aspect, it has been highlighted by various agencies that continuous watching or longer online sessions has led to some mental stress, back problems, spinal cord problem. Secondly, irritation issues, anxiety, gaming disorder, because sometimes students are on the class and they suddenly pop up the another gaming app and start playing. So the lack of concentration issue is also there. So these are the negative things.
Okay. And also the affordability issue, because not everyone can afford internet and mobile in India, right? Okay. What are the various, so since as IT sector has already adopted the work from home approach, do you think that given since you have listed more pros and cons, do you think that we can see our future of education sector more towards online classes?
Definitely, yes, it is a very good improvement, positive improvement also. In future, we may see online schools, online. Recently, I've read that in Kerala, online university has came into picture. So it will be only using online techniques to teach students, no formal classes, no labs. So that can be a viable option in the future, not just for the pandemic, for normal sense also. Because currently, we are talking about inclusive education where students can read maths, arts, Kathak, Bharatnatyam, Sanskrit on the same platter. So in online, we have the very much flexibility to understand any topic. So that is very good thing. Secondly, it will reduce the reach of, because sometimes, suppose I am from Udaipur and I want to go to IIT Guwahati, it is very far away. But if you can access the course right from online, that is a very good thing. So government is also working on this. We have already moved courses, MWCS moves courses, Smart Swayam platform. So these are the very positive development in this regard also.
Okay. Is education just related to books? Don't you think socialization, interaction with the teacher, interaction with your classmates, it is also essential for your overall personality development and the development of your intellect as well as EQ, as we were talking about the emotional quotient?
Definitely, yes. Some education is not just about knowledge or books or grades or percentage. It is more about the holistic personality development of any students as such. So, in current Indian education system, we are more focused on academic kind of thing, more on IQ component, less on EQ component. So, in this regard, we can also use the platform of online education to enhance the EQ component also. For example, we can conduct online mental counseling sessions on YouTube or mobile videos. Secondly, we can have start helpline hotlines in district level, which can be coordinated by CBSE or some other ICSE boards. That is very second thing. So there is also way to take into account the emotive component.
Okay. If I ask you that, what would you prefer, online classes or offline classes? What would you think?
I would prefer a blend of both.
Blend of both. Okay. How?
For example, uh, if I am studying civil engineering in college XYZ, so I will love to go to the lab to perform the experiments on the field. But when theory part is there, I can very well learn it through video also. So the practicality and theoretical thing can be adjusted to take advantage of both online and offline classes.
Is it practical to have a blend of both? Because if we, for example, if we're talking about some distant coaching or some distant educational institute, and for offline classes, of course, you'll have to go there. And for your online classes, you can stay online, but then there will be commuting issues and other things involved in that. Is it at all practical that ways?
Yes, so this is very much practical because currently many institutes like MNIT only, they're conducting classes using both the mode. They're using a blend of online and offline classes. So in offline classes, teachers come and they teach the students. And because in lab work, there is a lot of interaction is there. We have to use the same equipment. One equipment has to cater the demand of 20 people. So the touching is more there. So in that sense, that can be an issue, but we are using 3D techniques. So online education can really make the offline education much more fruitful also. Sometimes it becomes simpler to understand the concept when it is viewed through YouTube or any video. But secondly, we still lack on digital infrastructure in colleges also. We do not have good internet speeds, windows are buffering. So that is another issue. And the most important issue is the evaluation, the post-evaluation examination part. Still, we need to build a robust evaluation system where no cheating happens, because in online students, online time, students are literally cheating a lot. So that's a very big concept, and that too can be tackled because we have many examinations like GATE examination. They're conducted very well online. So those changes, innovations can be there to tackle these challenges.
Okay, just one simple question. Can human interaction be substituted by artificial intelligence?
It cannot be completely substituted, but yes, it can be substituted to a greater extent. For example, if some manual scavenger is there, and he is actually involved in manual scavenging thing, putting himself inside the sewer holes, so that is harmful for him. But if we use robots kind of things, that will make him her life simpler, his or her life simpler. So that is a positive thing. We can use robots to teach students artificial intelligence, IoT, cloud computing. But on the same hand, we still need humans to impart emotive component. That is very important. So I think we need both kind of things.
Okay, actually, my question was, can human interaction be substituted by artificial intelligence? That, for example, will you feel more comfortable talking to Siri as compared to your own friend?
It should not be replaced completely, but to an extent, yes, it can be. The life can be made simpler to use interaction. It cannot be the panacea. It cannot be a complete substitute.
Okay, it cannot be completely substituted. You're just trying to say that a blend is what is desired. Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Over to you, Vora sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chirag. Our interaction with you is over. So kindly switch off for 2 minutes.
Chirag,
we'll connect with you for the feedback. Yeah.
Chirag, you can leave the meeting for a while, for 2-3 minutes. Using the same link, you can rejoin back. Meanwhile, we can have the in-house consultation for your performance.